Shalom, all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem Haushai, Bahashem HaKodesh. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of GMS, or the true leaders of Israel today, and salutations to all of the Akim who do this work in truth and sincerity, who risk their lives and their freedoms to do so, as well as the scattered Israelites who come looking like the heathen, but are not, by way of their forefathers' seeds who are Israelite men. The true name of the Most High is Yahweh, and his son's name is Yahushai, and the Lord's holy chosen people are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, as we're the ones who suffer under the curses in the book of Deuteronomy. My name is Akalia, and this video is an update regarding the Mark of the Beast prophecy. Alright, so the Mark of the Beast is the microchip, and in Revelation chapter 13 and verse 16 it says, "And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads." So the he that will be causing this are the people that are in rulership today, who are the Edomites. They are these so-called white people, and it will be more specifically their ruling class, which is the wicked elite of Esau Edom, who are the elite bankers that are running this mission. All right, what is on the table is their New World Order agenda, which we're literally in the midst of right now. It is happening, and at the forefront of it is the microchip, which is a mark of the beast. Everything that they're doing right now is to launch the microchip and to make it mandatory worldwide. And that's why it says, "And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond." It doesn't matter who you are, your social status, nothing like that. They intend to microchip the entire world in order to be a part of their society, their NWO. People will have to be microchipped. That's what their goal is, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. So the word mark here at G5480 is the word charagma, a stamp and imprinted mark. And this is something that is physical. This is the microchip itself. Then the origin from the same as G5482, which is in the Greek the karax, a pail or stake. So the stake is something that is, similar to the shape of a pencil or a needle. All right, and this is the device that is used to administer the microchip. Okay, so then it says in their right hand or in their foreheads, and the microchip technology is both available right now at this very moment in time by way of the hand and the forehead, which is talking about the brain microchip. The technology is successful and people have it and it's up and running. So right now, what we're waiting for is the implementation of the systems around the world to allow the microchip to work on that mandatory and global scale. So they are introducing systems such as the digital identification system, as well as the transformation of the current economy towards a digital economy. And not only that, but the entire systems around the world are all going digital. Why? Because these systems, which are going to be digital systems, are going to be interacting with the microchip, the microchip is a digital device, right? When you go into verse 17, it says, "And that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name." So unless you have the mark of the beast, which is a microchip, you won't be able to buy or sell. Okay, so it is very important to understand what the microchip is and how it functions. All right, and this is saying that you're going to be shut out of society as time has gone on, right? That is what it is. That's what it always has been. Okay, buying and selling is the most basic form of interaction between two people conducting business. Okay, and so, business is conducted in different types of ways, government services, financial services, medical services, food services, everything is tied to it. All right, so unless you have the microchip, you're going to be shut out from society, and this is what is coming upon the world at this time. When we take a look at the microchip, you can Google RFID microchip or biometric microchip. This is what it is. So this device here, this is the charagma, right? Now, great image to show it. The microchip there, that's the charagma, and that's the device used to administer the microchip, and that is the charax. Okay, now understanding what the microchip is and how it functions. So biometric microchip, which has to deal with one's biometrics, right? And you know how the digital ID right now is also attaching people's biometrics to it. Keep note of that. Okay, so a biometric microchip is a tiny electronic device implanted under the skin to store personal information and provide access to data. Now let's go back to the word mark here, right, where it had charagma and it had charax. Now we go to the origin G1125 and it says grapho. So the grapho says to write with reference to the form of the letters, to delineate or form letters on a tablet, parchment, paper, or other material. Okay, so we know by way of historical accounts how information has been, recorded, okay, by way of these things on tablets, parchment, paper, etc. But now in these modern times, as they call it, the way that this data is written down and stored is by way of a digital way, right? Things are stored digitally. And so you can see here, to write with reference to the contents of the writing, to express in written characters, to commit to writing things not to be forgotten, write down, record. So reading this again, a biometric microchip is a tiny electronic device implanted under the skin to store personal information and access to data. All right, so this is what that grapho is. The recording of that same, as it says, store personal information and provide access to data. The chips can hold identifying information, medical data, and act as digital keys for contactless payments or secure entry. And the microchip is going to be the main mode of payment. That is the intended goal. So that's why the monetary system is transforming from the cash to a digital payment system, and hence the central bank digital currencies, because the microchip is going to be what is going to be used to make the payments. And then your bank account is going to be attached to it. While technology is being integrated, etc. Okay, so how they work. The microchip is implanted via an injection, okay? They contain a unique number that can be read by an RFID or an NFC reader, which is going to be your biometric ID. Potential applications for identification, storing personal information that can be linked to an external database. Access, acting as a digital key to unlock doors, start cars, or provide access to secure areas. Contactless payments, processing payments without needing a physical card. Medical data, storing health information like medical history, allergies, or even monitoring conditions like blood sugar levels, ticketing. All right, so really anything can be stored on it, because the point is that the microchip is going to be an all-for-one use device. Okay, and as you can see here, it has many different applications. Now, we understand what the microchip is, and that it is the mark of the beast, and how it is used and how it operates. And then you can also go to YouTube and search it. There are videos on it of people being microchipped and people speaking about it, etc. Okay, and how it works. Now, knowing that the mark of the beast is a microchip and understanding how it works, then we look at what's happening in the world and the systems that are being developed, right, to allow this microchip to work on that mandatory and global scale. So the digital ID is something that is focused on and reported on, because the digital ID is a stepping stone heading towards a microchip. Now, the digital ID itself, this is what has been proposed by the World Economic Forum, and this is the blueprint for how the countries around the world are developing their digital identification system. And as you can see with it, you can see that everything is attached to it, right? It is talking about people, things, entities, and devices all connected together. And then it says, these are the things that are going to be attached to your digital ID. And remember, it will also include your biometrics, okay? So your healthcare is going to be attached to it. Your financial services, which are your bank accounts, is going to be attached to it. food and sustainability, travel and mobility, your passports and everything, any kind of travel documents, humanitarian response, e-commerce, online shopping, and online profiles are going to be attached to your digital ID. Social platforms, it says it right here, social platforms, there's social media, and even this image right here, I believe that's the image for what was once known as Twitter, which is now X, right? Your social media is going to be attached to your digital ID. This is the system as they have proposed, right? And this is the system that is being implemented literally in real time right now. Government services is going to be attached to your digital ID, telecommunications, so your phone identity and your SIM card and however it's identified is going to be attached to your digital ID. And then the smart cities as well is going to be interacting with the digital ID. The smart cities, the 15-minute cities, right? Which is also an important part of the system coming in, right? Because they're transforming the overall world systems, right? The other day, well, not the other day, really, it's a couple months now, Trump signed the transformation of the medical industry to move towards a digital medical industry, right? Where things are going to be digitally done, okay? And so the smart cities and 15-minute cities are, a part of it. And that's why you have these countries that are developing their DPI, digital public infrastructure, right? Because the goal of Esau Edom with the microchip is that people are going to be microchipped, and then in these smart cities and these 15-minute cities that are completely technologically driven, AI driven, digitally driven, right? People are going to be interacting with the city in whichever way by way of the microchip, right? So when they go to the grocery store, when they go to the tax office, or they go to anything, they go to the bank or however it is, right? It will play out. People will be required to use that microchip to interact with the systems around the world. Okay, so this digital ID, very important part of it. And once again, this is simply just the stepping stone heading towards a microchip. But you can see here from the digital ID identified as a stepping stone because it is consolidating all of your information into one place, which is exactly what and how the microchip operates right now, right? The microchip, it stores all of your information into one place, and it's a all for one use. And this is exactly what the digital ID is, right? Being that stepping stone. Okay, so with that, let's take a look at just a few of what is going on in the world, current events regarding the development of the digital IDs. And this is literally just a few. Okay, so first out the gate, the Utah digital ID. Utah's digital ID program involves a mobile driver's license MDL that can be stored in a mobile wallet, and a new concept called State Endorsed Digital ID SEDI that is supported by recently passed legislation. Now, America's very interested with their development towards the Mark of the Beast system, right? The system that is being built up to, facilitate the microchip and its usage, because America doesn't just blatantly say, oh, we're developing this digital ID and we're launching the US dollar central bank digital currency. They're doing it in a more subtle way. All right. Other countries around the world have blatantly stated that they're developing their central bank digital currency and their digital ID, but America is bringing it in a very sneaky way. And one of the ways that they're bringing it in sneakily is by way of these mobile driver's license. Now, for the average person who doesn't pay attention, they will hear about a mobile driver's license and be like, okay, yeah, cool. But what it really is a digital ID. And it says it here, Utah's digital ID program. So they are actually bringing in the digital ID in America already, just not so blatantly stating, oh, there's this digital ID overall for America. All right. The mobile driver's license MDL function allows Utahns to carry a digital version of their driver's license on their smartphone. All right. And that's what they've been doing as well in different types of ways. They've been merging identification in different types of ways. Okay. And it's all being done digitally. All right, so That's an update. And then also the other way, right, regarding the central bank digital currency in America, they signed into law the Genius Act with the stable coin. And the stable coin is a form of digital payment which works at a one-to-one ratio to the US dollar, right? So it is digital money that works at a one-to-one ratio to the US dollar. So it is effectively the US digital currency. All right. But but in America, they're doing it in a very sneaky kind of way. I don't know why, but perhaps it will be revealed in due time. Regardless, they are implementing the systems. So the prophecy is accelerating. Okay. So besides America, you have in Barbados plans new nationwide campaign to build trust in digital ID initiative. All right, so another country that's moving along with the plans of the wicked elite of Esau Edom, right, implementing digital ID. Out here in Jamaica, the digital ID and the central bank digital currency have been launched. What Jamaica is lacking in is its digital public infrastructure, which it actually joined a campaign that is dedicated to the development of the digital public infrastructure, which is the 50 in 5 campaign several months ago, right, which included Jamaica and Mexico. And Mexico, since joining, has actually accelerated very quickly towards the mark of the beast system, implementing the different systems and moving towards that cashless society and that digital payment system society, right, which is all about bringing in, that microchip, which is the mark of the beast. And, social media, the people in Mexico have brought it out and said, Mexico has very rapidly transformed towards, this very digital system, this way of life. Okay, so Jamaica now is going to be doing the same thing, right? So also have this article, Caribbean aims for a 2030 vision of shared digital ecosystem. So all of these countries around the world are moving along with the plan because this is Esau's kingdom. He's in his blessing, right? This is his NWO agenda. All right. So with him in his blessing, he has control of the world, right? The fatness of the earth, the dew of heaven. It's been given to him. The earth is given into the hands of the wicked. Okay, so he has that rulership, and he's all of these countries are following suit with the agenda. You have here a more connected Africa. Zambia and Ethiopia join forces on digital ID. Okay, so another country with the digital ID and heritage. When I first began working with the government of Zambia through the Digital Zambia Acceleration Project to support the rollout of its digital public infrastructure, one challenge stood out clearly: the lack of a trusted digital ID system. All right, so there it is, talking about digital public infrastructure and digital ID system. All right, all of this is leading towards that microchip, man. These are the systems being implemented to facilitate its usage on that global and mandatory scale. Sri Lanka digital ID launch by Q3 2026, president. Okay, so Sri Lanka as well. And then you have here, is France going to link its digital ID to your social media account? So there is some kind of discourse regarding France linking the digital ID to the social media account. But based on the information that I've brought out, we already know the answer of what it is going to be, right? Because according to the World Economic Forum digital ID model, which is what all of these countries are following suit with, it literally shows you that your social platforms are going to be attached to your digital ID for social interactions to access third-party services that rely on social media logins. It literally says it. All right, and it's a one world agenda. So when you look at the different digital IDs around the world, you'll see that, they're all not at this specific level as yet, but they're all at varying degrees of it, right? The digital ID will have certain things attached to it right now, but eventually it will have all of these things attached to it because this is what it is. Okay, the World Economic Forum is a place where Esau Edom has very explicitly explained what their plans are for the future. Okay, and one of their leaders, who is Klaus Schwab, he said back in 2016 that in the next 10 years, people are going to be microchipped. The year is now 2025. And look at what's going on in the world regarding Bible prophecy. Measure the time diligently. It is more than clear that this mark of the beast prophecy is well on its way. All right? Well on its way. Okay, looking at everything that is developing, man, and it's all happening very swiftly. All right, this year, the developments have been swift. And the scriptures say that he cometh with great wrath because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. So he's moving very swiftly, man. All right, and he's making his move to implement his NWO with his main purpose to launch that microchip, which is the mark of the beast. Okay, so regarding this article, right, a claim is circulating online that France is entering an era of total traceability amid allegations that the country's digital ID, France Identité, will be directly tied to social media accounts. And it is. All right, so the article basically is trying to tell you no, but we know based off of literal proof that I've just shown that the digital ID, or rather the social media, is going to be attached to the digital ID. It's only a matter of time, but this is the devil, right? This is the devil that, you know, we have to contend with. You know what I mean? He is going to, you know, what he does is he gradually gets people used to the things that are happening. So even though he knows that this is what it is, and even though there's certain information out there, he's still going to lie. This is how what they are. This is how they're programmed. Our various other European countries also have digital ID systems such as Denmark, Estonia, Spain, whereas such as Germany and the Netherlands are planning to bring them in or participate in the EU's digital identity wallet scheme. So that EU digital identity wallet scheme, you know, digital identity wallet, etc. It's all the system coming in. Okay. So they will try to refute the claim, but the claim is actually 100% factual. Yes, they will tie your digital ID to your social media account. All right. And it shows it right here. Okay. So, you know, the spirit of Yahweh Shemishai has revealed all of this. All right. The Lord has shown, you know, the world, and has, you know, used his prophets to, you know, disperse this information to the world. And who will receive this? Who will understand everything that I've spoken about? The elect of the nation of Israel, and only the elect of the nation of Israel, all right, will understand fully what is at hand, all right, and the judgment and everything. Okay, because there's a judgment for taking the microchip. This is the warning from Yahweh Shemishai: do not take the microchip. It is the mark of the beast. There's a judgment that is going to be occurring. And that judgment in Revelation chapter 14 and verse 9 says, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of Yahweh Shemishai, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. So America is going to be destroyed by thermonuclear fire, but before it's destroyed, Yahushua is going to return and deliver the elect of the nation of Israel from the four corners of the earth, and 1/3 of our people from America, and 2/3 of our people in America are going to be destroyed. Those 2/3 are going to be our people who take the microchip. They will have to, you know, face the judgment of the thermonuclear fire. So this is a very serious thing, man. This is the warning from Yahweh Shemishai. All right. But what, you know, videos like this does is it is sounding the alarm. We are watchmen of Yahweh Shemishai. So we see what is coming in. We know what the mark of the beast is. And so based on what's happening in the world and the systems being implemented, we're able to, you know, with understanding, look at what's happening and tell you, look, these are the things that are being implemented heading towards this prophecy. All right. And that's just what it is. All right. The hour of temptation is very close. All right, in Revelation chapter 3, verse 10, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also keep thee. From the hour of temptation which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. The hour of temptation is when you are faced with taking the microchip. Now, the word world here is a word oikomini in the Greek, which is talking about the earth. So it is, the prophecy is going to be mandatory worldwide. So all spirits on this earth are going to face it, right? But regarding the salvation and regarding the warning of who to not take it, that it only pertains to the Israelites, that salvation is only for our people. Yahweh Shemishai is only dealing with his people, the Israelites. All right, and then this word temptation and this word try, when you break it down, all the way down, okay, to its origin, to G4008, it says through the idea of piercing. So it breaks down to the word paran, which is to pierce. So this can actually be read as, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also keep thee from the hour of piercing, which shall come upon all the world to pierce them that dwell upon the earth. It is the hour of piercing. Why? Because that's how the microchip is administered. It pierces the skin, right? It breaks the skin barrier, and then the microchip is, injected into, the hand, the body, the brain. Okay, so that's what it is, man. All right, the prophecy is clear, and the times are clear as to what is going on. All right. So with that, all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Kodesh, Shalom.